Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today I'm out on a little ride around the Suffolk countryside. A beautiful county and beautiful weather. Today I'm going to be talking about a couple of things, and if you fancy your chances of winning a Noco Smart 1 charger, you'll have to stick around till the end of the video. If you're new here, my name's Sarah. I post motorcycle related content on YouTube every Friday. If you like what you see, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. Check back next week for more new content. And yes, I'm back out on the Blackbird again today. It's an absolutely wonderful day. And some absolutely wonderful roads, in my opinion anyway. Some little twisty little back roads. The channel's approaching 1,000 subscribers now, which is absolutely amazing. I think at time of recording I've got about 930, something like that. But we are getting close to that 1,000 subscribers mark, which is really cool. So, if you fancy your chances of winning a Noco Smart 1 charger, courtesy of me, then stick around to the end of the video and I'll explain how to do that. So on to the main topic of this video, and that is, why do I think that new riders should not buy sports bikes? When I talk about sports bikes, I am talking about bikes with clip-on handlebars designed for the track. So looking at Hondas, that's kind of the CBR 600 RRs and Suzuki GSXR 650s and all that sort of stuff, and all of their larger capacity brothers and sisters. So I'm not talking about bikes with actual handlebars, so things like Suzuki SV650s, Triumph Street Triples, and all the cruiser type bikes and everything else as well. I am talking about fully fed sports bikes, and why don't I think that new riders should be riding them as their first bike? Controversial topic maybe, so let's deal with one of the more controversial aspects of that to start with. The reason I say this is not because of how fast they are. A lot of naked bikes are equally as quick, and you'd get yourself in just as much trouble as quickly as you would on any other bike anyway. So most motorcycles are plenty fast enough to get you in a spot bother as a new rider. So speed isn't actually one of the reasons why I say that new riders should avoid sports bikes. Speed is controlled by this hand here and how far you twist that throttle grip. It's not to do with how much power the bike makes, really. So it is not because sports bikes are fast, far from it. You can get yourself in just as much trouble and hurt yourself just as badly on a 300cc bike as you can on a 1000+cc bike. It really isn't the issue here. So let's get on to the reasons why I don't think new riders should ride sports bikes. First reason, they are not very comfortable, especially when you're a new rider and you are not bike fit and your posture isn't great and you're going to be a bit tense when you're riding. Sports bikes are just not that comfortable. Let's face it, they are designed for putting around a track. Clip-on handlebars, you are lent a long way forward, and if you are tense and you're not all relaxed in your upper body, then you are really going to be uncomfortable and it's going to limit your riding. So comfort is one thing, and I'm not saying that sports bikes cannot be comfortable, they can. But I do think that new riders will struggle to get comfortable on sports bikes. Because as a new rider, you're more likely to be tense, you're more likely to be nervous, and you're not likely to know so much about how to sit on a sports bike properly. So comfort is one reason, and anything that limits your riding when you're a new rider is a bad thing, because as a new rider you need to be getting out and putting miles and miles and miles on your bike so that you get the experience. And if you've got an uncomfortable bike, then that's actually just likely to put you off riding. So why do that? By all means, once you've got bike fit and you understand a little bit more how to relax and you've got a little bit of experience, go for it. So yeah, number one reason not to buy a sports bike when you're a new rider is the riding position and how easy it is to get comfortable. As you get more experience and you get more relaxed when you're riding, sports bikes are more comfortable to ride. I will still say though, they're not as comfortable as a lot of bikes. They're not going to be as comfortable as a cruiser or a naked bike or even an adventure bike. They are not designed to be comfortable with clip-ons and rear sets. They really are not designed to be comfortable. So what about the other reasons then? They are a nightmare to manoeuvre. All that slow speed stuff that you do when you're trying to pass your test, that is just as useful in the real world as it is when you are trying to pass your test. The sports bikes, that's made a lot more difficult. They are not designed to ride slowly. They get more uncomfortable as you ride them slower as well, but they are not designed to be ridden slowly. The steering neck angle and the clip-on bars with limited lock really does limit your low speed capability. If you try doing a U-turn on a sports bike, it is a hell of a lot harder than it is to do it on a naked bike. That's not to say that you cannot do U-turns on sports bikes, of course you can, but the technique for doing them is considerably different to what you'll learn when you do your test, and your likelihood of dropping your bike at slow speed is a lot higher when you're riding a sports bike. So U-turns aside, slow speed riding on sports bikes is more difficult, mainly because of the steering geometry. So when we're looking at bikes, we talk about rake, which is how much angle the front forks have to vertical. On sports bikes, the front forks tend to be more vertical than they are on other bikes. Some of them are as low as kind of 18 degrees, which is very low, and what that does is that makes the bike very, very twitchy. And it actually makes the bike want to fall over when you're doing slow speed stuff, and you get that slow speed wobble. So difficulty of slow speed manoeuvring is one of the other reasons I don't think that new riders should be riding sports bikes. But another reason I don't think new riders should be riding sports bikes is they're actually quite difficult to push around as well. So to manually handle the bikes, you're actually quite likely to drop them. There's several reasons for that. One of it goes back to having clip-ons on the bike, which means you've got very, very little steering lock. So when you're trying to manoeuvre the bike around, especially if you want to get around tight little corners and stuff, and you're standing next to the bike, you have to lean it over a fair way to get it to turn. And that, by virtue, means that you have to deal with an awful lot more weight when you're pushing the bike around, even though often sports bikes are typically lighter than other bikes. When you're moving them around, it makes them feel heavier and more likely to fall over. Again, it comes down to having those clip-on bars, which not only make things less comfortable, but also make a lot of slower stuff more difficult. So they're the reasons why I don't think new riders should be riding sports bikes. Like I said, it's nothing to do with how quick they are. Any bike's quick enough to get you in bother, especially if you're riding down a road like this, a lot of gravel around. So yeah, it's nothing to do with how quick the bikes are. It's all to do with how they handle, especially at slow speeds, and how comfortable they are for inexperienced riders who may not be bike fit and need to just get that time on a bike to just relax and get comfortable. In another video I'll talk about other bikes and why I think they may or may not be suitable for new riders. It is only my opinion, so you may disagree and you might want to still go out and buy the R6 or CBR 600RR or whatever it is that you want to ride. And by all means do that. It's a free country and you can do whatever you like as long as your license permits you to do it. So if that's what you want to do, if you do want to ride a sports bike as your first bike, go for it. Just be prepared to have to be a little bit more uncomfortable than you otherwise would be, and also just be wary of those slow speed things and manual handling of the bike. So on to my 1,000 subscribers giveaway then. When the channel hits 1,000 subscribers, I will be giving away a Noco Smart 1 charger. The chargers are suitable for pretty much every type of battery that you can have fitted to bikes, including lithium-ion batteries. So they come with little crocodile clips, so you can just connect them ad hoc to your battery, or you can take the clips off, and they've got ring terminals, and you can attach the little lead to your battery permanently, and it gives you a little socket that you can just plug the charger into if you want to use it as a maintenance charger. I've got a couple of these chargers myself, and it's what I use to keep batteries topped up on the bikes over the winter if we're not riding for longer periods of time. They're great little things. So this isn't being sponsored by Noco. I'm funding it out of my own pocket. Like I said, I use these chargers on my bikes and they've been really good, so I thought I'd give away something useful rather than a t-shirt or something like that. So for your chance to win that brand new Noco Smart 1 charger, all you need to do is be a subscriber to this channel. You need to like this video. Let the horse go by. So yeah, you need to be a subscriber to this channel, you need to like this video, and you also need to leave a comment on this particular video. And in that comment you need to tell me what your first bike was and why you chose it. So again, you need to be a subscriber to this channel, you need to like this video, and you need to leave me a comment down below in this particular video, and that comment needs to include what your first bike was after you passed your test. That's it, that's all you need to do. So if you do those three things, when the channel hits 1,000 subscribers, I will randomly select, with a random number generator off the internet, randomly select one of you to win that Noco Smart 1 charger. So that pretty much wraps up this video. And of course, if you like what you see, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button down below, and check back next week for more new content. Until then, ride safe, and I'll see you again next week.